Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. Today we are playing Dark Souls, of course. Dark Souls Uno. And the reason for that, well, I mean, I don't really need a reason to play it, but the reason I'm doing this particular playthrough is that Lego and I yesterday finished up Two Brothers Play Resident Evil 6. And so next time we'll be playing through Final Fight 3. Just, for a... Go back to a retro a little bit. Just have some fun beating up some stuff. And I don't think that'll take very long. And then we're going to go on to Dark Souls. Lego has really never played it. Obviously, I talk about it all the time, so we're going to see how that goes. And so I decided to just do sort of a refresher run where I explore a bit more than normal. Just so I'm sort of prepared for any encounters that he might have. Again, I don't know if that series will go beyond one video, but we'll see. Anyways, where were we? Right. So this week on this channel, got Final Fantasy VII Remake, still going strong, not going anywhere. And then Metroid Other M, which is now finished. So that means that starting tomorrow, I think, I'll start uploading The Surge 2, which I have finished. I have the full Let's Play ready to go. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. So that was about, I think it's like 16 videos or something like that. I didn't race through the game. But once Final Fantasy VII is done, which is not going to be this week, we'll start uploading Dragon Quest III. And then from then on, we should be able to just go straight through with the Dragon Quest series. I actually do not have that many videos for Dragon Quest. I'm still playing through Dragon Quest III. I didn't want to go too far ahead. Yeah, and then once the Surge 2 is done, should be right around the time that The Last of Us 2 is released. I have the collector's edition of Last of Us 2 pre-ordered because I wasn't aware that there was an Ellie edition. I don't know if that was a recent announcement or what. Somehow I missed that, and now it's completely sold out. I don't really care that much about the backpack because it's like, alright, it's a backpack, but it comes with the soundtrack on vinyl. I'm hoping that that's sold separately as well. I can't imagine it wouldn't be. So, yeah, that's that. Over on the Exploring series, this week I released a video on time travel. I don't remember the exact number, 55, 52 maybe. Nicely performing video. Like every SCP video I'm releasing nowadays is doing pretty well, which is good. It's very good. Because for a long time, I don't know, every SCP video I released, it seemed like despite my ever-growing subscriber numbers, the view counts weren't really reflecting it, but now it seems like, okay, it's going up, so that's good. People seem to be liking it, and specifically for that video, I got so many comments asking if I got a new microphone. And it's funny because of course I did get a new microphone. But that was not the first video that utilized the new microphone. And no one commented like the week earlier. So what's funny is the difference is for this video, I just messed with like some equalizer settings. And it seemed so minor. Like, you know, just like changing some frequencies and stuff by like a few decibels. And that was like apparently enough of a drastic change that I got so many comments asking if I got a new microphone. Because it sounds so crisp and so clear. And it's like, I guess the lesson here is you don't really need that incredible of a microphone. Because a lot can be just done with software to make things sound a hell of a lot better. And I probably should have realized that before, but it was like just this whole foreign world to me. I didn't know anything about that. And I still don't know much about it. But I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, I'm happy with the microphone setting. People are happy with it. I'm not going to futz with it. So that was good. This week I worked on a very interesting SCP. It's not related to Dark Souls, but thematically it felt very similar, to the point of that I used a lot of Dark Souls related imagery for the video. It's a very fantastical SCP about fairies and old kingdoms and magic spells and stuff, and four great knights. You know, it like, I mean, I literally mentioned Dark Souls in the script because it's like it just feels so similar. Feels like the plot for Dark Souls 4. But you know, it's an SCP written by our boy DJ Cactus. And it's a setup for another SCP that gets even more crazy, so I had to do this one first to provide the backstory. Should be pretty good. Jesus Christ. I haven't fought this guy legitimately in a long time. What are you doing? I guess I'm playing like my brother would. Trying to get the full experience. Damn it. I don't know. What the fuck? This is why I never fight this guy legitimately. I don't know. Gosh. Too much of a scrub. How do you dodge that shit? How do you dodge that shit? Anyways. That's what's going on there. Then I am working on a D&D video. Because now I have to. See, mentally, I have to release a D&D video this week. It would be unacceptable not to. So that's how it gets done. And originally I was planning on working on a video on the Gith. The Githyanki and the Githzerai. Very sci-fi creatures, I suppose, as far as D&D is concerned. And the reason that I skipped them in the end is pretty much because I couldn't come up with a good intro. Okay, the shield really does nothing. You know, for this... I fucking hate this guy. For the D&D videos, I've been doing this thing for the intros where I basically make it up to be like a D&D session as you encounter these creatures. I don't know, it felt like a fun little twist on my normal intros. And so far it's been fine, it's been easy and no problem. And then I got to the Gith and I'm like, how do I... Because I've never once in like my D&D career encountered any Gith. That's never been used. And it's like, I don't know how to frame both of these entities into an intro, like in a session. I just, that makes it sound, I just couldn't think of it. And so I was like, fuck it. I can't think of it. Move on to kobolds. That's easy. Here you go. This is a foolproof plan. Go in this tunnel. He'll never get me here. Surely there's got to be some... There you go. Except now I'm way too far away. Yeah, that wasn't good. Try it again. Alright, that's just sort of bullshit, I think. There you go. No. Oh, damn it. So yeah, just working on a video on kobolds. And of like the level 1 to 3 type creatures that, you know, new characters and stuff are likely to be thrown up against, I think kobolds are the best and the most interesting. You know, I'm not planning on doing a video on goblins. I'm not planning on doing a video on orcs or gnolls or anything, but kobolds are just badass. That's why they make the cut. I don't know if this strategy is better than the cheese one-hit kill or, you know, insta-kill, but this is a strategy that a new player would stumble upon. The other one, not so much. No, come on, that doesn't even make any sense. So yeah, it won't be a terribly long video, of course, because it's about kobolds. They don't have extensive lore. But I want to show some love to the kobolds. Why am I not surprised? I'd love to know what Miyazaki thinks hit me right there. I'm very curious. How does he justify this atrocity? Got him. So that's what's going on with the Exploring series. Same old, really. I can't complain. Subscribers are up, views are up, revenue's up, everything's on an upward trajectory. Which is good. We had a bit of a slump there for views. But that was during the period where CPM was down anyways, so it wasn't like, you know, views were skyrocketing, but CPM was in the dumps. That's when it really hurts. That basically happened when my channel got demonetized. That was right in the midst of like the SCP-3000 video just booming. And it was like, oh god. But now things are on the up and up for the most part. I mean, the second wave of coronavirus is going to devastate this country, of course, and I'm sure we'll be back down. But as long as things start to look good around September or October, then it's all pretty good. It's all pretty good. Moving on to board games. We played ourselves a board game yesterday on Tabletop Simulator. A 7-player game of Cosmic Encounter. It was pretty glorious. We had 2 players who had never played the game before, but I still insisted we do double aliens. Because double aliens just makes the game better. I don't think it really makes the game more complicated to learn. It makes the actual game wilder, you know, more chaotic. And so it's harder for a new player to win, I suppose, but you know, most games, new player does not have a great chance of winning against experienced. I mean, we've played Cosmic dozens of times. I would hope that we have a better chance of winning. Otherwise, the game's just completely random. And Cosmic is not that difficult of a game to just learn. The actual basic rules are not that difficult. They're not that complicated. And so basically you just tell players all the basic rules of like, how do you win, card play, you know, the order of operations, the order of play, things like that. You tell people all the basic rules, then you're like, all right, and then there are these aliens. And they break every rule I just explained to you. And that's it. And then it's like, you don't need to know every alien power that's in the game to play. You just need to know the aliens that are involved. And yeah, double aliens complicates that a little bit, but with double aliens, you start with one hidden. So it's still at the start, you're only explaining one alien anyways. And by the time hidden aliens get revealed, usually new players have a flow of it. I mean, I'm not recommending that no matter what, start new players with double aliens. It's the way to go. I'm just saying, if you routinely play with double aliens, and you've got 1 or 2 new people, it's not devastating. So yeah, 7 players, double aliens. That means that there's 14 aliens in the game, and 28 flare cards in the deck. So it's pretty wild. Hey, man. Hey, man. So I had, I didn't want to go too complicated with things for my aliens. I went with Remora. Basically, if someone else gets a ship from the warp, I get a ship from the warp. If someone draws a card, I get a card. Very simple. My hidden alien was the winner. Basically, if I win an encounter by 10 or more on attack numbers, I get an extra free colony. Pretty basic stuff. And it was pretty awesome because very early in the game, I drew the 40 attack card, the highest attack card in the game. I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. I'm going to clinch this. I'm going to have 3 colonies. I'm going to slap this down, get 2, and win the game. Nobody will suspect it. It'll be the greatest cosmic win of all time. But then it came down to a situation fairly early on where I was on offense, and it seemed like a very close pitched battle. And I was like, I've got to win. I have to win. And all my other attack cards were pretty shit. So I slapped down the 40, and I'm like, all right, I'll get the 2 colonies. I won't get the surprise win, so it'll be a bit tougher, but it's something. It's something. The 40 will not go to waste. But of course, the 40 did go to waste, because Ziggy pulled out this flare card that let him replace his attack card with the top card of the deck, changing his attack to a negotiate, meaning that my winner was no longer relevant, because it has to be attack versus attack, not attack versus negotiate. So I only got 1 colony and basically wasted the 40. Fantastic. In the end, Ziggy actually ended up winning. He had... His main alien was the Grudge. An incredibly strong defensive alien. Basically, if the Grudge invites you to ally with him and you refuse, he gives you a Grudge token. And at the end of the encounter, if the Grudge won the encounter, you only lose 1 ship because you didn't ally with him. But if he loses the encounter and you did not ally with him to help him out, you lose 4 ships to the warp, which is devastating. And so Ziggy was attacked numerous times. He was on defense many times for some reason. And he would always invite everybody. And we'd be forced to go in with like 1 ship just to avoid this Grudge token. And so I don't think he ever lost a defense. But what's funny is he never made anybody lose ships because of the Grudge, because we either like blocked it somehow or we just allied with him. But then, yeah, he just played the game well. He handled it well. There's some luck involved, there's some randomness involved, but he won. He won a solo victory. We have not had one of those in a long, long time. But what am I doing? I could parry this guy. Oh, maybe you can't. I'm not gonna try. It was a fun game. It took a while to get going with 2 new players and all these alien powers and tabletop simulator troubles. It took a while to get started, but it was a fun game. I would do it again. There's just so much replayability to that board game. It really is the greatest board game ever made. You know, when I was playing Gloomhaven, when I was deep into Gloomhaven, I was like, wow, this might be the best game ever made. But in the long run, you can't top Cosmic. You just can't. All right, let's talk about 40K. Little roll Mangg. So, in 40K, we were gearing up to go check out this research facility. Fuck. Yeah, the research facility, fuck. This research facility, this orbital thing that was apparently overrun with zombies. And zombies in 40K, I mean, from what I looked up, are specifically a result of Nurgle and his like chaos influence spreading this zombie plague. So it is sort of a manifestation of chaos. So that didn't sound too good. And I've read some of the Horus Heresy novels. I think it's False Gods, I believe, where they go to Davin or whatever, and they fight a bunch of plague zombies. So I'm familiar with it. So it's like, all right, zombie outbreak at this station. It's just going to be a clear sweep through, kill everything, and loot anything we can find. It's basically like a... This is like a sci-fi dungeon crawl, is basically what this is. Why can't these be parried? I guess not everything can be parried, but... No, there's no parry going on. So we loaded up with flamethrowers and protective gear. I bought a new drone that's armored and has like a bolter and a flamer on it. We're just preparing for combat. We know there's going to be combat. I can't avoid it. I mean, yeah, if I really wanted to be just like a asshole, I could have gone to great lengths so that none of us directly got involved in combat, and we did all sorts of sneaky bullshit. And in the end, we did avoid a lot of combat by me doing sneaky bullshit. But there was combat. So we arrive at the station. We send out the drones first, just to check the docking bay. And they see a couple, like, broken ships. They don't see any people. They don't see any bodies. They don't see any blood. Maybe there is blood. I don't remember. But notably, there are 4 turrets stationed on one of the walls, facing our ship. They're not firing on the drones. They're just sitting there. They do seem to be, like, on. They seem to be powered, but they're not firing. And I think, like, Realm's character sticks his head out, and the turret starts firing on him. So these things are designed to fire on living targets and not drones. So I'm like, okay, we could bypass the turrets entirely by me using like a group teleport to just move past them. But Realm starts shooting at him, and I think Mert's drone joins in. I decide to hold back because I would assume that, you know, they're programmed to fire on living targets, but I would assume there's always like a self-defense protocol that if they're fired upon by anything, they shoot back. So having our drone shoot at it just opens them up to the line of fire. Turns out that was not the case. So by that point, I have my drone start firing as well. Look at this nice demon centipede there. That's beautiful. It's just like a jumble of parts. And eventually we destroy all 4 turrets. It's not ideal because it's better to have something like that on our side rather than just destroyed, but sure. What's done is done, and we can move on. So, my drone and Thomas's character, we poke over to the observation deck nearby. We open that door up, and we find like 14 zombies in there. So, we bust out the flamethrowers. We quickly eliminate all 14. No real issues whatsoever. So, we have confirmed there are zombies present here. It's time to settle some accounts. And then, well, there's a computer there, and Thomas checks out the computer, and he finds that there isn't a whole lot we can do with it, but there is a button that will open every door on the station in, like, an emergency. And I find that interesting, so we'll get back to that. Next, we head into, like, the food research lab or something like that. And in there, it's a big room. There are about 200 zombies. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please stop. He's gonna do it again. What a bastard. A little rat bastard. Oh, okay. 200 zombies. And so, I mean, we're gonna fight them, like I said. There's gonna be combat here. But we can be smart about the combat, at least. So we decide to use the corridor as a bottleneck. So we have the zombies slowly flooding through this corridor. Oh, bullshit. We're at the far end with our flamers and our bolt guns and stuff, and we just slowly decimate them as they funnel through this corridor. Bullshit, I fucking hate this thing. Oh my god. It takes a while. We use up ammo and fuel and all that, but we do eventually kill every last zombie that was in that room. So that's pretty good. Then I think at that point, they went ahead to keep scoping things out while I started like searching the broken ships we found. And I managed to get some fuel for my flamer, and I determined that the fighter, there was like a fighter there, like a little single person spaceship, that was still in pretty good condition, and we could sell it if we just dragged it into our rogue trader's ship. So that was a nice haul. They come across a room that's like the director's apartment. So like the main guy, his apartment. But there's another turret like above the door. Thomas bought a gun called a distortion cannon, which apparently phases through space-time to physically disrupt someone's matter. And its special property is that it can ignore up to like a meter of solid terrain or cover. So we literally like just like stayed behind a door. He shot it through the door and destroyed the turret. It was pretty sweet. There we go. That's the way to do it. By that point, I reconvened with them, and I'm like, look, I have a plan. We don't need to sit here all day and just fight zombies. I say we use that open all doors button. And this was my plan. We set up some sort of noise maker. In the end, we used like my compad that was just blaring the Imperial hymn or something. We open all doors on the station. Every door opens. All the zombies can hear this music, and they will come towards it. And we set up this noisemaker in the docking bay. We get back on our ship and leave the station temporarily while all the zombies are in the docking bay. Once all the zombies are in the docking bay, we detonate some explosives on one of the walls of the docking bay leading to space, causing explosive decompression inside the docking bay and sucking all these hundreds of zombies out. Then, once all the zombies are gone, we get in our assault suits, which are all vacuum sealed. We redock, and we go search the rest of the station, which is now zombie free. God damn it. There were some concerns with the others. I was not concerned. Particularly Mert, I think, that this explosive decompression would suck out all the loot. Along with the zombies across the whole station. And it's like, well, if it possibly did that, we wouldn't need to bring all the zombies to the docking bay. The reason that the loot's not going to get sucked out is because we know that the doors on this station automatically close. You know, they're motion sensed. The open all doors thing was just like all the locked doors. Fuck. God, what an insane corridor this is. Plus, even if the doors didn't auto-close, they were all completely open. There's just not enough you know, the decompression is not that widespread. It's not going to suck everything through corridors and rooms and stuff. It's just not going to happen like that. I mean, yeah, my thing is always trying to apply logic to role-playing games, and usually it works out. You can never fully trust what a DM will do, but it's an unfortunate DM that will actively go against the logical. Spaz boys here. Oh my god. What? How dare you? So, everyone was pretty happy with the plan, or they were okay with it at the very least. So we set up the demo charges, we set up the comm pad, we set up one of my drones as a camera feed in the docking bay so I could know when to blow the charges. We got back on the ship, we undocked right after Thomas hit the button to open every door. We watched the camera feed as all the zombies came in, like plenty of them. I think the total count was like 130 or something, including some special like spitting zombies that we had encountered. We encountered like a couple of them. These spit like some sort of acid or something like that. And once they were all in there, I was satisfied. I blew the demo charges. They all got sucked out. And we redocked and everything was good. We eliminated 99% of the zombies on board that station, as far as I'm aware. So I was pretty pleased with how that turned out. We then went back to the director's apartment. His door was now unlocked, so we went over there. He poked his head out. And right from the get-go, I was suspicious of this guy. Anytime you have the sole survivor of a horrible incident, especially a fucking zombie outbreak, you need to be suspicious. You need to give them the third degree, because, you know, if everything's fine and it turns out they would just happen to be fortunate enough or cowardly enough or whatever, and they made it through, then whatever, there's no harm done. But this is 40K. I'm working for the Inquisition. Everyone's a suspect of everything. So I didn't trust this guy. And he was super glad to see rescuers. And even though I was suspicious of this guy, I made a mistake. And I'm free. I'll admit it. I made a mistake. I'll tell you what my mistake was. And I even thought about saying something at the time. I decided against it. I kept my mouth shut. I can't believe it. Usually I don't do that. But I was not the main guy talking to him. It was Thomas talking to him initially. And he was like, yeah, we're not... I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, yeah, okay, you can... He's like, why don't you come out into the open area and you can talk with the whole group. And the guy's like, okay, let me just get a few things from my room. And that at that point, I was going to say to Thomas, I was like, don't let him out of your sight. This was what I was thinking of saying. I was so close to saying it. And I was like, fuck it. So Thomas did not keep him in his sight. He went into his place. He got a few things, a couple briefcases and stuff. Comes back out. Oh my god. And I start talking to him. I say, you know, I'm from the Inquisition. I ask if he complies with a medical examination. He does. So I was hoping Mert would be a bit more thorough in his examination rather than just running a bioscanner over him, which is what I could fucking do. You know, I'm not a medic, but I could do that. I mean, I guess I should have said, like, hey, pat him down. But I was hoping to keep that under the guise of a medical examination. And so his story, the way that he explains it, is that some time ago, like a few weeks ago, these maintenance workers came to the station to do some like routine maintenance. And they apparently brought with them this plague, this zombie plague. And it spread like wildfire through the station. And this director happened to just lock himself away in his cowardice in his own apartment. Why am I fighting this thing again? Fuck it. And it took some time for me to continue interrogating this guy. But I put him in like a locked room on the ship, and I told, you know, the rogue trader, I was like, hey, this guy's a suspect. Keep yourself armed, blah, blah, blah. And I grew more and more suspicious of this guy as the session went on. Because things didn't seem to add up with his... There was a lot of holes in his story. I asked him how long it took for someone to... How long it took for these symptoms to display themselves. You know, for someone to catch this virus, and then how long for them to turn into a zombie. And he said a few hours. So I asked him how was it possible that these maintenance technicians contracted this virus and managed to fly their ship here and disembark in the matter of a few hours. And most of his answers basically boil down to, I'm not sure. Which is not what you want to tell an Inquisitor who is highly suspicious of you. You better have some pretty good answers. Then, the rest of the team continued searching the facility, and they came upon the medical bay, where they found a zombie that was like sleeping, and they found an uninfected man, uninjured, that was sedated, like medically sedated. And so I asked the director about this, and he said, oh, it must be one of the maintenance workers that the security team sedated. I'm not sure why. And I said, so in the midst of all this chaos and panic, your security team managed to sedate an uninfected, uninjured man. He said, I don't know, I'm not sure. I then asked why he had the turrets on the docking bay programmed to fire upon all living beings, as that tends to make a rescue attempt fairly difficult. He said, well, the security team must have done it to try and contain the threat. I'm not sure. I didn't like any of his answers. I was highly suspicious of this guy. But I wasn't exactly in a position to start torturing some high-level researcher, you know, a director of a research station. As flimsy as his story was, I'm not an inquisitor. Not yet. But we saw on the blueprints of the station that there was a top secret research area or something like that. And this guy's claim for the research station was that they were looking into new ways of creating synthetic food. And so they had like synthetic meat pods and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, you know, that's fine. But why the fuck do you need a top secret research area when you're just studying synthetic food? And the director, you know, while I was interrogating, was like, I hope that I'm not going to be kept in this holding cell the whole trip back. And I said, well, you know, the rest of the team is checking out this top secret research area. And if everything there is on the level and fine, then we will update your accommodations. And this is the point where this guy realized that it's a point of no return. Whatever was in that top secret research area, we have yet to find. Well, I guess we sort of know. Not completely. He didn't want us poking around in there, so I think his plan was to blast me in the face, blast the rogue trader in the face, and then steal the ship and fly away. I think this was his plan. He didn't get past the first part, though. Not really, of blasting me in the face. You see, unfortunately, I was wearing an assault suit, which made me pretty well protected from his last pistol that he had managed to conceal because no one searched him and we let him out of our sight. I will take responsibility for this error, and I ended up paying for it by getting into this duel with him. My character is really not much of a combatant. I'm trying to work on that. But usually I don't make very combative characters. So, yeah. He got some shots off. I didn't get much damage on him. I was looking pretty close to dead, actually. I probably would have died if our rogue trader had not jumped in to intervene and shot him in the face and ended the fight. So that was good. So fortunately I survived, but it was close. It was close. And right about when I was doing this duel, the rest of the team managed to crack open the top secret research area. And out of the room comes a large number of people. Not zombies, people. And they say that they've been trapped in there. That's pretty much where we ended the session. On this sort of mystery about what's going on with these people that were trapped in here. I'm highly suspicious, of course, because you have to be suspicious of everyone. I'm suspicious, though, because this was just a research area, not a living quarters, not a mess hall, just a research area. And a large group of people were trapped in there for 22 days. Even if they had synthetic food samples that were in there. You know how much water you need to keep that amount of people alive for 22 days? I call bullshit. I suspect chaos influence, and I'll probably put them all to the chainsword. So we'll see. I call bullshit. And I think, you know, this is probably what makes me a bit annoying as a player. Is that I try to rely on logic so much. I'm sure plenty of people would just be like, hey, you're rescued, it's all good, you're safe now. It's like, hold up. Hold up. Let's think this through. But, you know, logic can be your friend in a role-playing game. You can rely on it. It'll always be there. It doesn't change. That's why I like it. So, yeah, we finished the session without really wrapping up the scenario. I don't know how much is left of the scenario. I don't know what Ziggy has planned for afterwards. He might just throw us into something else immediately that he's got planned. I'm not sure. But it was a pretty exciting scenario, and I got to do some interrogation and accusation. I like that stuff, so that's good. And we killed a whole lot of zombies. We blew up part of the station. Explosive decompression. I mean, what more do you want from a Stars Without Numbers session? But, yeah, good stuff. Again, I don't know how long this campaign will go on. We're nearing level 6 now out of 10. And yeah, I mean, it's not like, even at level 10, it's not like it's not like D&D or something where you become like demigods or anything. You're still pretty fragile. You can't take on armies or anything like that. It's just compared to like a level 1 character, you can probably stomp them pretty easily. And you have a lot of money, you usually have like really good equipment and assault suits and blah blah blah. Tech level 5 stuff. Psionic powers are usually pretty advanced by that point. But, you know, I don't know if we'll make it to 10. It's pretty far off. But it's been good so far, so. Alright, I'll end here. Check out more Final Fantasy VII Remake. The Surge 2 starting up this week. And Two Brothers Play Final Fight 3. That should be a lot of fun. Over on the Exploring series, we have SCP, I think it's 4812, Wrath. That's a fun one. And a video on kobolds. How exciting. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. See you fine folks next week.